Good afternoon, everyone. It is 4th of July weekend 2025, and this is the inaugural cooking video for Island Pirate Cooking. I'm your host, Captain Cuttlefish, and today we're going to do a little bit of traditional pirate cooking using modern techniques, modern equipment, because there is no way I'm going out in the woods and building a wooden frame and a fire. I have air conditioning and electricity, and obviously this video. All right, guys, here's how this is going to go. Today we are cooking, because you can't have a 4th of July weekend without barbecue, right? So today we're cooking ribs. We've got a nice half rack of St. Louis ribs. We're going to season up real good. We're going to make them tasty, tasty, tasty. And we're going to do some barbecue beans out on the grill too. So stick around, guys. This ought to be a great video. I hope it's a great video. We'll find out. I'm glad you're joining me on this journey, and let's get cooking. So guys, what I'm doing right now is I'm seasoning up these ribs with a little bit of a little bit of Kinder's habanero pineapple and some McCormick black pepper and garlic. These are going to give these ribs an amazing flavor. We're going to rub that in. We want all the meat to get happy. I've got the Rectech outside. Rectech, if you're listening, I could use a sponsorship. I've got the Rectech 380 Deluxe outside. That beautiful grill will go from 200 degrees all the way up to screaming 1,000 degrees. We've got the ribs all nice and seasoned, and today we're going to use the traditional 3-2-1 rib cooking method. So these are going to go out directly onto the grate at 225 for 3 hours. In 3 hours, we're going to bring them back inside. We're going to wrap them. We're going to add a braising liquid, and then we're going to leave them back out there for another 2. After that 2 hours is done, we'll bring them back inside, unwrap them, get them all seasoned up with this Barbecue Express pineapple sauce. Get them back out so we can set that barbecue sauce into the meat, and then they'll be absolutely delightful and perfect. The reason we're using the habanero pineapple and the Bootsy's barbecue is I want to give it a little bit of tropical sweetness and a little bit of heat. While these are cooking, last hour and a half of our 6-hour cook, what we're going to do is we're going to prepare our baked beans. And then they're going to go out for the last hour onto the grill itself so we get some of that smoky goodness in with the grilling food. Or in with the grilling meat to infuse a little bit into our beans. All right. Guys, I'm going to go ahead and get this out there on the grill. Stick around. It's a 6-hour cook. I'm not going to make you watch all 6 hours, but I will make you watch a little bit of it. All right, let's go ahead and head out to the grill, and you can join me there. Okay, guys, we're outside on my porch. We've got the Rectech up to 225 degrees. We're going to put these beautifully seasoned ribs on there. They're going to slow cook for 6 hours for us. Don't those look great, guys? They're going to slow cook for 6 hours for us total. But for right now, we're going to do 3 hours directly on the grill. What we're trying to do is break down that collagen and connective tissue and make these mouth-watering and tender. They're going to fall off that bone after 6 hours, guys. This is going to be amazing. Anyway, I'm not going to make you watch 6 hours of me sitting around waiting for the food to be done. So, join me back here in 3 hours, and we will go to the next step in these ribs. So guys, I just looked back over the video, realized I lost something along the way. What we've done is we have taken our ribs and we've seasoned them up with the habanero pineapple and the garlic. After our first 5 hours of the cook, that's right, 5 hours, we're getting our Pineapple Express barbecue sauce on there. This is an amazing sauce given to me by a friend. As you can see, I've used quite a bit of it. It's going to add a little bit of tang, a little bit of citrus, a little bit of sweet, and a whole lot of spice. I want these to be tropical ribs, guys. I know it's the 4th of July, but this is Island Pirate Cooking. We're not going to do anything cheap, easy, or without adding some of those good island flavors. While those ribs are cooking, guys, we're going to take that regular, ordinary can of baked beans. We're going to spruce it up a little bit with my ingredients here. I'll show you that here in a little bit. And we're going to get those out there to simmer with the ribs for the last hour of their cook. Guys, this is going to be a phenomenal holiday weekend cook. And here is your first little bit of pirate trivia. All right, guys, it's been 3 hours. Take a look at those ribs. How amazing does that look? Take a look along the side here, guys. You can see that the meat's starting to pull away from the bone, which is exactly what we were hoping for. Those seasonings are great. You still got a little moisture piling up on there. These are going to be phenomenal, folks. So we're going to get this inside. I'm going to show you how to wrap it. We're going to add some braising liquid, and we'll get it back out here for another 2 hours. All right, guys, we're back inside. So what we're going to do now is we're going to wrap these ribs in some foil. We're going to double wrap them so the juice stays inside. So one going this way. And we're just going to create a pouch with this one. Now, before we seal that pouch completely up, what we're going to do is we're going to add some braising liquid. You can use a lot of different liquids. Traditionally, pork is really good with apple juice, but we're sticking with those tropical flavors, guys. So I've got some Tempatico. This is a very large container of Tempatico. It's orange, tangerine, and mango. It's just going to kick up that citrus flavor a little bit for us. We're going to go in with about half a cup. So the idea is not to drown this. We're not boiling the meat in liquid. But what we do want to do is get a couple different liquid flavors going. And we're sealing it in the aluminum foil to keep it nice and moist and juicy. So there's wrap number one. And now that we've got a little bit of heat protection for our fingers, we can go this direction. So there's wrap number two, and I've gone two different directions with the foil to keep everything in there. Now what that's going to do is it's going to loosen up that connective tissue. It's going to make it so we retain that moisture a little bit better, and there's going to be just some phenomenal flavors going. So we're going to get that back out on the grill for another 2 hours, and while we're waiting on that to happen, we'll start the prep for our baked beans. All right, guys, see you back here in a little bit for that prep. All right, guys, let's get the prep started for these beautiful, tasty baked beans. What we're going to do is we're going to cut down one red onion. We're going to saute that in a little bit of oil in the bottom of our pot. And then we're going to add the beans, the seasonings, and the bacon once all of that is, once we get these onions nice and silky smooth and delicious and a little bit caramelization on them. So there are several very, very good baked bean brands out there on the market. This happens to be Bush's Baked Beans. It's one of my favorites. They are good. And there's nothing wrong with them. There's nothing at all wrong with these beans. You can very, very easily throw these in the microwave, throw them in a pot, heat them up, and they become just a delightful side dish for any barbecue you've got going. But because I want to go a little extra today, what we're going to do is we're going to rough chop these onions, break them down just a little bit, because I like that onion flavor in mine, guys. And I know any of you professional chefs or professional cooks out there watching me mutilate this onion are absolutely trembling right now. They're going, Jesus, get this guy's skill set. But practice makes perfect. And the more we practice something, the better we get at it. So let's see if we can't make this look a little more picturesque, even though it doesn't need to be. All right, that was a little heavy. Okay, that's a little more what it should have looked like the first time, guys. All right, now we've got our whole red onion. You can use white onion, you can use yellow onion. I prefer red because they've got a little bit more flavor and a little more personality, in my opinion. We're going to render these in some hot oil in the bottom of the pan. We're going to sweat them out. We're going to get them a little bit caramelized, get a little bit of flavor on them. Once those are in, we'll add the rest of our ingredients. And what we're going to do is I made some bacon sandwiches the other day, and I've decided that this is going to be the perfect complement to our meal tonight. So, once the onions are caramelized, we'll get the bacon in there a little bit to heat up. We'll get our beans in there to start warming up. We'll add our extras, which is going to be some Worcestershire, some garlic, some chili powder, some cumin, and some barbecue sauce. We'll bring that up to a low boil. And then when we get our ribs out in 2 hours, what we're going to do is take that little pot that I'm cooking these beans in outside with it. And we're going to let that simmer while we're setting the barbecue sauce on those ribs. All right. Guys, I'll see you back here in about an hour and a half when we start cooking up what we need to cook up to get these beautiful beans going. Okay, see you then. Okay guys, we're back and we're ready to create these beans. I've got some neutral oil up to just below smoke point in this pot. Oh, hear that sizzle? That's what we want. What I've got is, you guys watched me earlier, I've got one red onion. I'm going to carve this, I'm going to get this thing in here. Oh, it smells good already. We're going to let some of that liquid get evaporated out. Hit it with a little salt. We're going to caramelize these up about 3 to 5 minutes. I just want them to lose a little bit of that crunch. I want to leave a little bit because that's how I like my onion and my beans. Not everybody likes that. So cook these to your preference of choice. It doesn't have to be as deeply cooked as I'm going to get mine. I'm going to get a little char on them, a little color on them, a little caramelization on them. Then we're going to drop in the rest of our ingredients. Okay guys, these are caramelizing nicely. They're getting some of that sweetness you get with the onion once you cook off some of that real sharp onion flavor. So we're going to go ahead and add the rest of our ingredients. We're going to add our can of beans. Don't worry guys, I'll clean my stove after this. That all stirred in there nicely. We're going to get our chopped up bacon in there. And now we're going to add the stuff I think makes this better. We're going to add a little bit of Worcestershire. A little bit of cumin. And eyeball this, guys. I mean, as always, you're going to want this to be to your taste. I've done this dozens of times for myself, so I know how much of each one of these I want in there, just to make it spicy, just to get some of the flavors I want. So there's the cumin, there's the chili powder. And with all recipes, guys, do you. I mean, you may not like pineapple. You may not like citrus flavors. If that's the case, you're going to want to go with different flavors for your barbecue rub and your barbecue sauce on your ribs. You may not like sweet. If you don't like sweet, skip the barbecue sauce. You may not like onion. If you don't like onion, skip the onion entirely. Yep, that's exactly what I want. A little bit sweet, a little bit spicy. And we're going to add one last thing that I didn't think about before and I've decided needs. Just a little bit. Well, that's crusted up nicely. Okay, we're not going to add the garlic powder. Let's see if I don't have some garlic salt over here. Problem with being in the Caribbean, guys, is sometimes what you end up with is so much moisture in your dry spices that they clump up like you just saw. So what I'll do is I'll run that through a spice grinder and turn it back into a powder later. All right. These have got a little bit of a simmer on them because we were a nice and hot pot. This is a cast iron pot. It holds heat amazingly well. So one more little, yeah. Let's take a taste of that and make sure we've got the seasoning profile where we want it. Oh, my goodness gracious. Those are perfect. All right, so what we're going to do now is we're going to kill the heat. We're going to take this off. Slide that back, and when it's time to pull our ribs out, bacon. When it's time to pull the ribs out, what we'll do is we will take that pot with the lid on it out there, and it's going to simmer the entire time it's out, the entire time we're waiting for that last hour on the ribs. So, guys, I will see you when it's time to pull those ribs inside and take them out of their aluminum foil baggie. Okay, guys, it's been 2 hours. We're going to take these out of the nice foil pack. We're going to check on them. We're going to get some sauce on them. Then we're going to get them back out on the grill, 30 minutes aside to set this sauce. I brought them in here to do this for 2 reasons. One, it's easier for you guys to hear me in here. And 2, we got a little more room to work than that tiny shelf outside. Oh, guys, look at that. Now, one of the ways you can tell if your ribs are getting close to done is you start playing with the bone a little bit. And although they're tugging nice, they're not quite 100% released yet. So, we're done with all that juice. The aluminum foil allowed us to keep most of it in the package. Got a little bit of leakage, that's not terrible. Yep, more leakage than I wanted. Let's get this over to the sink. There we go. All right, so as I said, take a look at those ribs. These would be delicious right now. They're just shy of being done. You can see the bones starting to pull away. It's real easy to loosen those bones up a bit. So what we're gonna do, that's delicious. We're gonna get our Pineapple Express mustard-based barbecue sauce on there. And spread that around nicely. Doesn't that look delicious, guys? If you're not into mustard-based, guys, there's 1,000 barbecue sauces on the market, or you can make your own. There's a few very good recipes out on the internet. I like this one. I like this one especially with the seasonings we were using. Everything just kind of comes together nicely. So, what I'm going to do, and I'm not going to make you guys suffer through it, is I'm going to get these back out on the grill uncovered with the barbecue side up for 30 minutes. Once this barbecue sauce is all set in, I'm going to flip it over, sauce up the other side, let that set in, and then we'll come off and we'll bring those in and cut them up. At the same time I'm doing that, I'm going to take out that pan of baked beans we just prepped and let it sit out there with these ribs. Still, we're at 225 degrees, guys. We haven't changed that at all. That way the beans can get some of that smoke, some of that heat, some of the delicious smell of this roasted meat, and then we'll get it all inside and eat here in about an hour. All right, guys, I will see you back here in an hour for the grand unveiling of today's inaugural Island Pirate cooking video. All right, guys, I'm back inside. I just took all of this off the grill. Look how amazing that looks. Remember that when the barbecue sauce went on, it was bright yellow because it's mustard based. This has completely set. It is beautiful. It is tasty. Oh, let's see if we can't find one of those bones to prove this is perfectly cooked. Come in from this end. That's what we're looking for, guys. You see how that twisted right out of there? No cutting necessary. Those are perfectly cooked ribs, folks. I couldn't have done that better if I'd tried, and I did. So along with our ribs tonight, guys, we've got these beautiful, beautiful baked beans, onion, bacon, Worcestershire barbecue sauce, and a few seasonings. Guys, this is a great way to finish off a Independence Day holiday weekend. I want to thank you all for joining me on this first of what I hope to be many, many episodes of Island Pirate Cooking. This is Captain Cuttlefish signing off. We'll see you next time.